My name is Christian Kungle, owner of CKWraps. Started this business a couple of years ago on my own, for the most part, branded as CKWraps, and it's something that I got into, wrapping cars for my own personal use. I just wanted to wrap cars. I wanted to wrap my own car, and then as soon as I did that, because it was like 6 years ago and nobody had seen this kind of stuff before, it became a thing. You know, I remember driving my car after wrapping it the whole winter. Pretty much took me the whole winter. Drove it from my dad's place home, because I had it stored there, and people were just going crazy about it. So it was, obviously that's an awesome feeling. So that wrap itself turned out really good. There's a lot of things that I didn't know when I was doing it, and a lot that I know now compared to then. But I got it done. All of a sudden, my friends started asking, and family started asking. So I started wrapping friends and family's cars, and trying different colors and trying different things and learning as I went along, and never really thought that it would be a business at all. It just turned into something. So I always had another job while I did this. I worked at the Keg for a long time, for many years, and just did this on the side. I worked with a couple of shops. I worked with Street Dreams, Autosport, good guys, Ryan and Narad. We wrapped a lot of cars together at their place, and I brought work in, they brought work in, and we all got along. Eventually there came a time when I just kind of wanted to get out on my own and do my own thing. So here I am, and I'm actually at Concept Auto Salon. They do a lot of detailing here, ceramic coating and stuff like that. They bring in some wraps and I get to do them, and I bring in a ton of wraps, and I got a good space to work in with a lot of good guys. And here I am wrapping a Lamborghini Huracan. This is Avery satin red chrome. It looks beautiful. It's definitely more of a one-of-a-kind finish. There's a lot of different finishes that you can do as far as vinyl wrapping. Is why I like it. I always look forward to the end of the project. That's what I'm most passionate about, is having it come out as perfect as possible and seeing the results of my work. So, nothing is more satisfying when my clients take their cars out to car shows and everyone's impressed. Some of my wraps have won some awards, best paint even. Yeah, which is pretty funny. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And it's always pleasing. I'm always looking forward to the next project. So vinyl wrap is a great alternative to paint. If you look around, there's vinyl everywhere all the time. Windows, billboards, floors, walls, all kinds of stuff. There's vinyl everywhere. So what the capabilities of this film is compared to a film that you put on a wall or a billboard, this film is designed for vehicles. It's designed to wrap vehicles without removing the paint when you go to remove it. Whatever the condition of paint was before you wrapped it is the condition that it will be when you remove it, which is nice. So if you have your wrap on for like 3 or 4 years, your paint won't have weathered for 3 or 4 years. It is scratch resistant and stain resistant and all. It will only hold up to so much at the same time, just like your paint will. The nice part about this is that if you scratch a fender, all we have to do is replace the fender, and that can take half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. We don't have to wait 3 or 4 days and then match your paint job to this panel and your bumper and the hood and everything else. Right. That starts to get very expensive. A wrap, price range wise, it's a lot more sensible as well. You can get a paint job for $2,000, but do you want a paint job for $2,000? No, you do not. If you're gonna get a paint job, you're gonna be paying for a good paint job around $8,000. $8,000 is a lot of money, but that's gonna get you a good paint job. For a wrap, you can get a good wrap, and that'll start around $2,000, $2,500 depending on the car. So they can go as high as $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 depending on what the person wants. But a finish like this does end up being on the higher end of the spectrum because it is a chrome finish. So it's a matte. We've taken two materials and combined them. We've taken shiny chrome and put a matte layer over top of that. So this film is extra thick. And as far as like paint protection goes, this is the ultimate. It's gonna hold up to stone chips, scratches, and everything a lot better than a single layer finish. I sell film, we distribute Vivid, and I teach on YouTube all the time because when I started, I had no help. I had a friend who was in the industry, but he was wrapping like airplanes and stuff, never really doing a full color change on a car. So his advice was really limited. It's refining your skill. You have to practice it, and if you don't practice it, you're not going to get better. You have to push the limit and see what the film can do. I run workshops, and I keep telling people, this is how you do it. Pull on it this hard and this hard, but people are afraid to almost pull on it as they should be. So it's just, you got to get comfortable with it. It's like anything else, it takes time to learn how to ride a bike or a rollerblade or skate or whatever. It's the same thing. Once you get it, you get it. I did this for my house. If you don't have a house, find a friend who has a garage, if you don't have a house with a garage, then find someone who has a garage. I did this in the wintertime, negative 20, 30 degrees. I'd heat up the garage for like 3 hours, then go in there, work for 5-6 hours, then go to work that night, whatever, just do whatever I had to do to get wraps done. And really your perseverance in the end will help you prevail, because it'll also weed out people who don't want to do it. It's hard work. I'm usually pretty sore at the end of the day. I put a lot into each vehicle that I wrap though. If you find that it's something that you like doing, then keep doing it. And it's cars. Who doesn't want to, work on a Lambo? It's an exciting time when you're working on a Lambo. This is the first Lambo, yeah. Yeah, this is the first Lambo. I've done a bunch of other high-end cars, not a Lambo yet. So a lot of care goes into a car like this, and it's put together very well as far as obviously manufacturing goes. So everything's very tight, and you want this to look good. Like someone doesn't bring you something like this without having a pretty good portfolio and trusting you. And a lot of it is trust. So don't also forget that you need to earn people's trust. That means warrantying your work, because we're all human, we make mistakes, and this doesn't always go down perfectly the first time. Sometimes you might have to do your mirror 2 or 3 times. I remember there was one car, a Mercedes, just this past summer, that I wrapped the mirror like 30 times. I'm not even joking. I had to leave the shop, come back the next day. It was so frustrating, because I knew I could get it better and more perfect, and I was always just that close each time, and I just wasn't cutting it. So I just kept redoing it and redoing it. They're small pieces, but I just kept redoing it until I got it. You learn something. So even being in the industry for 5 years at that point, I'm learning something. So I'm learning how to push the limit of the film and get better. Yeah, I've done a lot. Yeah. So that's why I do the training, because a lot of people want to learn. Like I said, it's low cost to start up, and it's interesting if you're into cars, because it's fun. You can do your own car like 10 times a year if you want to. And that's I think where a lot of the appeal is. Like, why pay someone to do something that you could potentially do yourself? And a lot of shops will get upset with me. They'll think that I'm ruining a market, because I'm teaching people how to do it. Even on YouTube, where I'm teaching people how to do it, I'm not charging for that. It's not the same as being personable in the shop and learning hands-on with me. But there's always going to be people who want to try it, and there's going to be people who don't want to try it, but they can see how you do it, which I think is important. I think I'm actually expanding the market as far as me teaching people and showing people and having them understand what a vinyl wrap is and how it is to install. People look at it like, no way, I'm ever going to try that. Like, that looks way too hard. So here, I can see how well he does it. I'm going to take him my car. This is how he found me. He's been following my YouTube channel for like a year. He's been watching the work, and he trusts me. He can see how the work goes. So in a sense, I get some business from that, and I'm expanding the market in creating installers. I'm not saying YouTube is going to teach you everything and that you should always go by that, but having the training here one-on-one, or 3M or Avery training somewhere else is very beneficial as well. So the other installers at other shops will get upset with me because I'm teaching people how to do it online, and it's not necessarily that thorough, but it's all about trying it and refining your skill, and I want people to try it and see if they like it. That's why I put the videos up. I didn't think YouTube would be anything. I thought maybe a few hundred people might follow it or whatever. Now it's up there, and a lot of people are interested, a lot more than I initially thought are interested in learning. So I just keep putting up whatever videos I can of different cars, because I might wrap a fender once on one car, but it's different on another car, and it's never going to be the same unless we're doing the same car again. Even the finishes, even if I do the same car again, if I do one in chrome and one in matte black, there are going to be different ways that I'm going to go about doing it. So I'm trying to teach people those things. So they're just a lot of basic principles that I try to show people, and truly understanding why the film works the way it does and how to manipulate it is the most important part of it all. And once you understand that, you'll be wrapping cars. The wrapping cars part is not the hard part. It's the cutting and the preparation and that kind of stuff. Like, a lot of my time spent goes into prepping the vehicle, making sure it's dust free. There's nothing embedded in the paint, tree sap, bird poop, that kind of stuff, and making sure that it's nice and clean as can possibly be. Because the last thing I want to do is have any dirt under there when I put my work into it. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that, and trimming and cutting is also very time consuming. You have to go slow and be patient. So you don't want to, after you lay the panel, cut a little bit too short or not wrap thoroughly enough around an edge, and then that edge is exposed and you can see it, because then you're gonna have to go back and do it again. So in the end, the trimming part is very important, because it'll just ruin the whole panel if you mess it up, and then you're gonna have to redo it. So yeah, I spend, the wrapping, like I said, is easy. Cutting and preparation is the most time consuming stuff. No guys, like if you wanna try this, if this is something that you think you wanna try, do it. It's a market that's expanding. This isn't going anywhere for a very long time. There are many possibilities of what you can wrap with vinyl. Like I said, if you want to get into doing windows and walls and floors and billboards, there's that market, which is more of an advertising market. Or you can get into color changing. We can wrap wheels, brake calipers, trim around the like the chrome trim around the windows and stuff. Really, I've wrapped snowboards, I've wrapped drum sets, I've wrapped, motorcycles. There's cell phones. You can wrap whatever you want, really. If the energy of this surface is very high, like glass or smooth like paint, you can wrap it for the most part, and you can give it a shot. Even if it's not terribly smooth, you can still usually give it a shot and and just try different surfaces and see how it goes, because it won't stick the same to everything. Yeah, so if you're interested in learning how to wrap, my channel is CKWraps on YouTube. I've got, I think over 100 videos on there, 100 and something, and people seem to enjoy it. And they say that I'm thorough in what I'm teaching. So if you want to learn how to wrap and you can't come to me because I'm too far, I have people learning from across the world. In India, I get calls from all these countries, but. It's an easy way to gain some knowledge from my YouTube channel. I try to cover everything. I try to go over things as much as I can, and it won't beat coming here and learning with me, as some of my classmates as some of the people who have come to my workshops have mentioned. But if you can't, it's there, and check it out. It's just CKWraps on YouTube. Check it out, guys. If you guys want to see pictures at all, go on Instagram. It's at CKWraps on Instagram, and we have a website, www.ckwraps.ca, and that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Cool.
One take. Good job, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I try to do everything in one take. Like I said, I don't have time to video edit, so yeah, it's just, if I mess it up, it just goes up, whatever.